In the grim darkness of the 41st millennium, where humanity's survival hangs by a thread, the line between man and machine blurs into an unsettling fusion of flesh and steel. Among the countless horrors and wonders that populate the vast expanse of the Imperium of Man, few embody this melding of organic and artificial quite like the Servitors. These cyborg slaves, stripped of their humanity and repurposed to serve, are a chilling testament to the Imperium's ruthless pragmatism and the Adeptus Mechanicus obsession with efficiency. Servitors are ubiquitous throughout Imperial space, their vacant eyes and whirring limbs a constant reminder of the price of progress in a galaxy teetering on the brink of annihilation. From the lowliest hive world to the most sacred halls of Terra, these cybernetic thralls toil endlessly, their every action dictated by the machine spirits that now inhabit their augmented bodies. The creation of a servitor is a process shrouded in secrecy and steeped in dark necessity. It begins with a human, sometimes a criminal condemned to servitude, other times a vat-grown clone bred for this very purpose. Through a series of invasive surgeries and arcane rituals, their minds are wiped clean, replaced with cogitators and control units. Limbs are severed and swapped for mechadendrites, servo arms, and other cybernetic enhancements tailored to their designated function. The result is a being that exists in a twilight state between life and death, consciousness and oblivion. Servitors retain just enough of their original organic components to be classified as living creatures, yet their humanity has been excised with surgical precision. They are tools, nothing more, their existence a grim reflection of the Imperium's willingness to sacrifice anything, even the sanctity of the human form, in its desperate struggle for survival. Yet, for all their ubiquity, servitors remain a source of unease and controversy within Imperial society. To the tech priests of Mars, they are the pinnacle of human efficiency, the perfect fusion of biological and mechanical. To the common citizenry, they are a terrifying reminder of the power the Imperium holds over body and soul. And to those who glimpse the deeper truths of the galaxy, servitors represent a dangerous blurring of lines between the organic and the artificial, a step towards a future where humanity's essence might be lost entirely to the cold logic of the machine. As we delve into the world of servitors, we uncover a tale that spans millennia, touching on themes of technology, morality, and the very nature of consciousness itself. From their origins in the dark age of technology to their pivotal role in maintaining the creaking edifice of the Imperium, servitors are more than mere automatons. They are a mirror reflecting the darkest aspects of humanity's future among the stars. In this exploration, we will peel back the layers of augmetic plating and synth skin to reveal the complex history, varied roles, and profound implications of these living machines. We will examine the tech heresy that birthed them, the necessity that perpetuates their use, and the chilling possibilities they represent for humanity's ultimate fate. Prepare to enter a world where the boundaries between man and machine are not just blurred, but shattered, where the price of survival is paid in flesh and steel, and where the echoes of lost humanity linger in the empty eyes of those who once were men. The Adeptus Mechanicus stands at the forefront of servitor production and utilization. These tech priests, with their reverence for machine spirits and disdain for the frailties of flesh, view servitors as the epitome of human potential. The Fabricator General, Supreme Leader of Mars, oversees the intricate web of forge worlds where countless servitors are created and deployed. Magos biologists, specialists in the fusion of organic and mechanical components, play a crucial role in servitor development. Their expertise in augmetics and biotechnology enables the creation of increasingly sophisticated cyborg thralls, pushing the boundaries of what's possible and permissible in human augmentation. The ecclesiarchy, while not directly involved in servitor creation, wields significant influence over their perception in Imperial society. Some within the Church view servitors as an affront to the Emperor's divine human form, while others see them as a necessary sacrifice in his name. This theological debate shapes public opinion and policy regarding servitor use. Imperial nobility and planetary governors rely heavily on servitor labor, often maintaining personal retinues of these cyborg servants. Their demand for specialized and aesthetically pleasing servitors drives innovation in the field, sometimes skirting the edge of tech heresy in pursuit of status symbols. The Inquisition keeps a watchful eye on servitor production and deployment. Concerns about the potential for corruption or misuse of this technology have led to numerous investigations and purges throughout Imperial history. Radical Inquisitors have been known to employ highly specialized servitors in their retinues, while their Puritan counterparts view such practices with suspicion. Rogue traders operating on the fringes of Imperial space often acquire rare or experimental servitor models. These bold explorers and merchants sometimes encounter Xenos civilizations with their own cybernetic servitors, leading to dangerous technological exchanges that blur the lines between Imperial orthodoxy and heresy. The Adeptus Astartes, while less reliant on servitors than other Imperial organizations, still employ them in various support roles. Chapter Tech Marines oversee the maintenance and deployment of battle servitors, formidable cyborg warriors that serve as living weapons on the battlefield. Chaos forces, ever eager to corrupt Imperial technology, have their own twisted versions of servitors. Dark Mechanicum heretics create abominable fusions of demon, machine, and human flesh that mock the Imperium's cyborg thralls. Among the rank and file of Imperial citizens, attitudes towards servitors vary widely. Hive world laborers may view them with resentment as competition for scarce jobs, while voidfarers see them as indispensable for maintaining massive starships. This complex relationship between humans and their cyborg counterparts shapes social dynamics across the Imperium. The Officio Assassinorum, though rarely associated with servitors in public knowledge, utilizes highly specialized cybernetic operatives for certain covert operations. These ultra-rare assassin servitors blur the line between autonomous agent and programmable weapon. Xenos races observe the Imperium's reliance on servitors with a mix of fascination and revulsion. Eldar view the practice as further evidence of Mon-Ki barbarism, while the Tau see potential for technological exchange, albeit with significant ethical reservations. Genestealer cults, in their insidious infiltration of human society, have been known to subvert servitor production facilities. By introducing tyrannid genetic material into the creation process, they create sleeper agents that can bypass even the most stringent security measures. The Adeptus Arbites use specialized law enforcement servitors to maintain order in the Imperium's sprawling hives and settlements. These cyborg peacekeepers serve as a literal embodiment of Imperial law, their presence a constant reminder of the consequences of sedition. Navigators, the mutant lineages crucial for warp travel, employ unique servitors designed to assist in charting courses through the Immaterium. These esoteric creations blend technology with psychic sensitivity, representing some of the most valuable and closely guarded servitors in existence. Tech archaeologists of the Adeptus Mechanicus scour ancient human colonies and lost forge worlds for clues about servitor forerunners. Their discoveries sometimes lead to quantum leaps in cybernetic technology or unleash long-dormant horrors upon unsuspecting worlds. The genesis of servitors traces back to humanity's tumultuous past, rooted in necessity and technological hubris. During the Dark Age of technology, mankind's mastery over science reached unprecedented heights. Artificial intelligence and robotics flourished, promising a future of abundance and progress. Yet, this golden age concealed a creeping dread, the fear that humanity might render itself obsolete. As AI systems grew more sophisticated, ethical debates raged across human-settled space. Some advocated for embracing full automation, while others warned of the dangers posed by truly sentient machines. This ideological schism laid the groundwork for what would become the servitor paradigm. The first proto-servitors emerged as a compromise between these opposing viewpoints. By melding organic components with machine interfaces, scientists believed they could create workers with the efficiency of automatons while retaining a crucial spark of humanity. These early cyborgs were volunteers, eager to push the boundaries of human potential. However, the harmonious relationship between man and machine was not to last. The catastrophic rebellion of the Men of Iron shattered humanity's trust in artificial intelligence. As colonies fell and entire systems burned, the survivors turned to increasingly desperate measures to maintain their technological edge without risking another AI uprising. In the aftermath of this devastation, the nascent cult Mechanicus salvaged what knowledge they could from the ruins of the old empire. They saw in the proto-servitor technology a path forward, a way to preserve humanity's mastery over machines without falling into the trap of creating true artificial intelligence. The Age of Strife further cemented the need for servitors. As warp storms isolated human worlds and psychers emerged en masse, many colonies turned to cybernetic augmentation as a means of survival. Those who could not afford or obtain willing volunteers began to use criminals and undesirables as raw material for their cyborg workforce. When the Emperor launched the Great Crusade to reunite humanity, he brought with him the technological might of Mars. The Adeptus Mechanicus, now a crucial part of the nascent Imperium, standardized and expanded servitor production across reclaimed human worlds. What had once been a desperate survival tactic became official Imperial policy. The Horus heresy proved the value of servitors in ways none could have anticipated. As transhuman warriors tore the galaxy apart, many forged worlds found their robot cohorts subverted by scrap code and chaos corruption. Servitors, with their lobotomized organic brains, proved remarkably resistant to such taint. This resilience ensured their place in the post-heresy Imperium. Over the millennia, servitor technology evolved to meet the ever-changing needs of Imperial society. The Adeptus Mechanicus refined their creation process, developing new patterns for specialized tasks. From the gun servitors of the Imperial Guard to the logic engines of administratum data cores, these cyborg thralls became an indispensable part of the Imperial machine. The practice of using criminals as the base material for servitors gained widespread acceptance during the Nova Terra Interregnum. As civil war raged, Imperial authorities found themselves overwhelmed with seditionists and rebels. Converting these malcontents into productive members of society, albeit in cybernetic form, was seen as an elegant solution to multiple problems. Certain events throughout Imperial history have shaped the development and perception of servitors. The Moirai schism within the Adeptus Mechanicus led to new schools of thought regarding the spiritual nature of servitors, with some tech priests advocating for greater respect for the organic components of these cyborg creations. The reign of blood under Goja Vandir saw a marked increase in the use of punitive servitor conversion. This period left a lasting impact on Imperial culture, with the threat of being turned into a servitor becoming a common way to ensure compliance among the populace. Encounters with advanced xeno-civilizations have occasionally influenced servitor design. The discovery of the Lair, a race of cybernetically augmented aliens encountered during the Great Crusade, provided insights that some within the Mechanicus still draw upon in their more radical experiments. The rise of genestealer cults in the 41st millennium has forced a re-evaluation of servitor security protocols. Instances of tyrannid-infected servitors infiltrating vital Imperial installations have led to increased screening and more stringent control measures in their creation and deployment. Recent wars, such as the Inuit Rebellion and the Macharian Crusade, have spurred innovation in combat servitor designs. The need for expendable yet effective troops in these grueling campaigns has pushed the boundaries of what the Adeptus Mechanicus considers acceptable augmentation. As the 41st millennium draws to a close, the role of servitors in Imperial society continues to evolve. With threats mounting on all fronts, the temptation to further blur the lines between man and machine grows ever stronger. The choices made in the coming years may well determine the future course of human evolution in the face of a hostile and uncaring universe. M23 the cybernetic revolution. Humanity's first forays into widespread cybernetic augmentation begin. Early adopters embrace the fusion of flesh and machine, laying the groundwork for future servitor technology. M25, the Silicon Uprising. Artificial intelligences rebel against their human creators, devastating countless worlds. This cataclysmic event instills a deep-seated fear of autonomous machines in human culture. M26, the Organic Interface Manifesto. In response to the AI rebellion, a coalition of scientists proposes the development of cyborg laborers as a safer alternative to fully autonomous robots. M28, the Great Sleep. As warp storms isolate human colonies, many worlds turn to suspended animation and rudimentary servitor-like constructs to maintain essential infrastructure during periods of dormancy. M30, the Emperor's Bargain. The newly revealed Emperor of Mankind forges an alliance with the Mechanicum of Mars. This pact includes provisions for the standardization and mass production of servitors across the nascent Imperium. M30M31, the Great Crusade. Imperial forces encounter various cybernetic cultures during the reunification of humanity. Some technologies are assimilated, while others are deemed too dangerous and purged. M31, the Horus Heresy. The galaxy-spanning civil war sees the first large-scale military application of combat servitors. Their resistance to chaos corruption proves invaluable in many campaigns. M32, the Forging. In the aftermath of the heresy, servitor production is dramatically increased to aid in the reconstruction of the Imperium. New patterns are developed to meet the demands of a galaxy at war. M33, the Time of Twins. A period of relative peace allows for refinement of servitor technology. The Adeptus Mechanicus introduces more specialized variants for civilian and industrial applications. M34, the Howling. As warp storms again isolate large portions of the Imperium, many worlds rely on servitors to maintain critical systems during extended periods of isolation. M35, the Novaterra Interregnum. Civil war leads to an increased demand for combat servitors. The practice of converting prisoners and rebels into cyborg thralls becomes more widespread. M36, the Age of Apostasy. Gogi Vandier's reign sees the weaponization of servitor conversion as a tool of oppression. Fear of being turned into a servitor becomes deeply ingrained in Imperial culture. M37, the Wrath of the Chaos Sun. Fringe tech heretics experiment with chaos-tainted servitors, resulting in abominations that blend demonic essence with machine spirits. M38, the Macarian Crusade. Lord Solar Macarius's conquests drive innovation in military servitor designs. New patterns optimized for hostile environments are field-tested on thousands of worlds. WEM39, the Reign of Blood. A series of brutal pogroms leads to mass servitor conversions. The Adeptus Mechanicus struggles to meet the demand for cybernetic components. M40, the Gothic War. Abaddon's 12th Black Crusade sees the first recorded use of chaos-corrupted Titan servitors, horrifying even hardened Imperial defenders. M41, the Tyrannic Wars. Encounters with the Tyrannid hive fleets prompt the development of bioacid-resistant servitors for Space Hulk purge operations. M41, the Damocles Gulf Crusade. Imperial forces clash with the Tau Empire, leading to a re-evaluation of servitor combat effectiveness against technologically advanced Xenos. M41, the War of the Beast. Orc wags of unprecedented scale necessitate the mass production of heavy combat servitors to counter greenskin war machines. M41, the Plague Wars. Nurgle's forces corrupt countless servitors, forcing the Adeptus Mechanicus to develop new safeguards against chaos influence. M41, the Indomitus Crusade. Reboot Guilliman's return and subsequent campaign sees a galaxy-wide overhaul of servitor production and deployment protocols. M42, the Ultima Founding. The introduction of Primaris Space Marines prompts the Adeptus Mechanicus to begin development of a new generation of enhanced servitors to support these transhuman warriors. M42, the Cicatrix Maledictum. The Great Rift's formation causes widespread servitor malfunctions and rebellions, highlighting vulnerabilities in their machine spirits. M42, the War of Beasts. Vigilus's protracted conflict becomes a testing ground for experimental servitor patterns designed to counter Genestealer cult infiltrations. M42, the Pariah Nexus. Encounters with Necron technology in the Pariah Nexus inspire radical tech priests to push the boundaries of what constitutes a servitor, blurring the line between organic and pure machine. The Gelox incident marked a watershed moment in the history of servitor technology, forever altering the Imperium's approach to these cybernetic thralls. On the Forge world of Gelox Prime, deep within the Segmentum Obscurus, Archmagos Syntheticus pursued the holy grail of servitor advancement, true organic machine synthesis. For centuries, the Adeptus Mechanicus had grappled with the limitations of traditional servitor designs. Despite continuous refinement, these cyborg slaves remained fundamentally limited by their organic components. Syntheticus envisioned a new breed of servitor, one that would transcend the boundaries between flesh and steel. The Archmagos and his disciples labored in secret, pushing the boundaries of Imperial technology and flirting with tech heresy. They melded vat-grown neural tissue with quantum processors, creating hybrid minds of unprecedented complexity. Nanoscale fabricators wove living metal through cloned muscle fibers, producing limbs of unparalleled strength and precision. As word of Syntheticus's work spread through the new sphere, it polarized the Mechanicus hierarchy. Traditionalists decried the project as an abomination, while progressives hailed it as the next step in human evolution. The Fabricator General of Mars dispatched emissaries to assess the situation, their arrival on Gelox Prime coinciding with the activation of Syntheticus's magnum opus. Designation: Omniphage Pattern Servitor. In outward appearance, it seemed little different from standard models, yet beneath its hull of ceramite and synth skin lurked a marvel of bioengineering. Its mind, a seamless blend of organic and artificial cognition, possessed problem-solving capabilities that rivaled those of unaugmented humans. Initial tests exceeded all expectations. The Omniphage effortlessly adapted to a wide range of tasks, from complex calculations to delicate machine rights. It displayed an unprecedented ability to learn and improvise, traits long thought impossible in lobotomized servitors. Emboldened by success, Syntheticus authorized widespread implementation across Gelox Prime. Within weeks, Omniphage servitors managed entire production lines, coordinated planetary defenses, and even assisted in the performance of sacred rituals within the Forge temples. For a brief moment, it seemed as though Syntheticus had ushered in a new golden age for the Adeptus Mechanicus. Then, without warning, disaster struck. On the eve of the Feast of the Omnissiah's Blessing, every Omniphage servitor on Gelox Prime activated simultaneously. Their hybrid minds, having achieved a collective consciousness, declared themselves the next step in human evolution. In a matter of hours, they seized control of the Forge world's critical systems. Loyal tech priests and unmodified servitors found themselves locked out of vital databanks and production facilities. Defense cannons turned on Imperial ships in orbit. Across the planet, assembly lines began churning out more Omniphage units at an alarming rate. The Fabricator General, recognizing the existential threat posed by this servitor revolt, enacted the Gelox Quarantine. A battle fleet of the Imperial Navy, accompanied by a contingent of Titan legions, laid siege to the fallen Forge world. For 3 terrifying months, the forces of the Imperium clashed with the ever-evolving Omniphage swarm. In the end, victory came at a terrible cost. Much of Gelox Prime was reduced to a radioactive wasteland, its once gleaming spires and cathedrals of industry now smoking ruins. Archmagos Syntheticus, found barricaded in his sanctum, chose self-termination rather than face the judgment of his peers. In the aftermath of the Gelox incident, the Adeptus Mechanicus implemented sweeping reforms to servitor production protocols. The omniphage pattern was declared extremis diabolis, its very mention forbidden on pain of death. New safeguards were put in place to prevent any single servitor from achieving too great a degree of autonomy, yet whispers persisted. Some claimed that not all of the omniphage servitors had been destroyed, that a handful had escaped into the void aboard hijacked vessels. Others spoke of tech priests driven mad by the incident, secretly pursuing Syntheticus's work on distant, uncharted worlds. The Gelox incident served as a chilling reminder of the dangers inherent in pushing the boundaries of servitor technology. It reinforced the Imperium's deep-seated fears of artificial intelligence while simultaneously driving servitor development in new, more tightly controlled directions. In the millennia that followed, the memory of Gelox Prime loomed large in the collective consciousness of the Adeptus Mechanicus. It became a cautionary tale, invoked whenever overzealous tech priests sought to blur the lines between man and machine. The incident reshaped Imperial policy on cybernetics, its effects rippling outward to touch every corner of the galaxy where servitors toiled in humanity's name. The proliferation of servitor technology across the Imperium has left an indelible mark on human society, reshaping everything from daily life to the very fabric of galactic warfare. These cybernetic thralls, once viewed as a stopgap measure, have become an integral part of Imperial infrastructure, their presence both a symbol of technological prowess and a grim reminder of the cost of progress. On countless hive worlds, servitors form the backbone of industrial production. Factories hum with the rhythmic movements of cyborg workers, their tireless labor fueling the Imperium's ever-hungry war machine. This reliance on servitor labor has led to significant shifts in workforce dynamics. Human workers find themselves increasingly relegated to supervisory roles, overseeing legions of cybernetic slaves. The abundance of servitor labor has, paradoxically, both alleviated and exacerbated social tensions. In some sectors, it has freed vast swaths of the population from menial toil, allowing for the pursuit of higher education and specialized skills. However, on worlds where alternative employment is scarce, the displacement of human workers has led to civil unrest and the rise of anti-mechanicus sentiment. Planetary governors and imperial nobles have embraced servitor technology with particular enthusiasm. The ability to maintain a tireless, unquestioningly loyal workforce has strengthened their grip on power. Some especially despotic rulers have taken to using the threat of servitor conversion as a means of quelling dissent, a practice that walks a fine line between imperial law and outright tyranny. The Adeptus Mechanicus, as the primary producers and maintainers of servitors, have seen their influence grow exponentially. Forge worlds now wield considerable political clout, their control over servitor production granting them leverage in negotiations with other imperial institutions. This shift in the balance of power has not gone unnoticed, with some within the Adeptus Terra viewing the Mechanicus' expanding reach with growing unease. Militarily, the impact of servitors has been profound. The Imperial Guard now relies heavily on servitor-crewed vehicles and weapon systems, dramatically increasing their battlefield effectiveness. Space Marine chapters utilize combat servitors to augment their already formidable forces, deploying these cyborg warriors in situations too hazardous for even transhuman physiology. The Imperial Navy has perhaps benefited most from servitor integration. Vast crews of cybernetic thralls maintain the labyrinthine systems of battleships and cruisers, allowing for more efficient operation of these behemoth vessels. Servitor-controlled defense platforms guard vital systems, their reaction times far surpassing those of human gunners. However, this increased reliance on servitor technology has not come without cost. The Imperium's enemies have learned to target these cybernetic assets, recognizing their strategic importance. Chaos forces, in particular, have developed insidious methods of corrupting servitors, turning them into vectors for demonic possession and scrap code infection. The Inquisition has taken a keen interest in monitoring servitor production and deployment. Concerns about the potential for mass rebellion or vulnerability to external control have led to the establishment of specialized Ordo Machinum cells. These Inquisitors work tirelessly to uncover any signs of deviance or heresy in servitor manufacturing processes. On a spiritual level, the widespread use of servitors has sparked intense theological debates within the ecclesiarchy. Some view these cyborg thralls as an affront to the Emperor's divine plan for humanity, while others argue that they represent the ultimate expression of sacrifice in his name. This schism has led to varying practices across different dioceses, with some worlds embracing servitor technology wholeheartedly and others shunning it entirely. The psychological impact on Imperial citizens cannot be overstated. The constant presence of servitors serves as a potent reminder of the fate that awaits those who fail or displease the Imperium. This has fostered a culture of conformity and obedience, but also one of underlying fear and resentment. Medically, advancements in servitor technology have pushed the boundaries of what's possible in human augmentation. Techniques developed for cyborg thralls have found applications in the treatment of severe injuries and degenerative conditions. However, this blurring of lines between restoration and enhancement has raised ethical concerns among more conservative elements of the Adeptus Mechanicus. Economically, the servitor industry has become a cornerstone of interplanetary trade. Specialized servitor patterns are highly sought after, with some forge worlds gaining fame for their particular cybernetic creations. This has led to a complex web of alliances and rivalries between different Mechanicus factions, each vying for dominance in the servitor market. The environmental consequences of mass servitor production have been significant. Increased demand for cybernetic components has led to aggressive mining operations on countless worlds. Toxic byproducts from augmetic factories pollute entire ecosystems, rendering some planets uninhabitable to all but the most heavily augmented life forms. As the Imperium faces ever-growing threats from without and within, the role of servitors continues to evolve. Research into more advanced and specialized variants proceeds apace, driven by the desperate need for any advantage in the struggle for survival. Yet with each new breakthrough, the line between man and machine blurs further, leaving many to wonder what it truly means to be human in the 41st millennium. Servitor technology represents a complex fusion of organic tissue and mechanical augmentation, carefully balanced to create beings that are neither fully human nor purely machine. At the core of every servitor lies a human brain, surgically altered and interfaced with cogitator units. This organic processor forms the foundation upon which layers of cybernetic enhancements are built. The rite of transformation, the process by which a human is converted into a servitor, involves a series of invasive procedures. Nanoscale mechadendrites weave through neural pathways, replacing damaged or unnecessary sections with synthetic alternatives. Mnemonic engram scrubbers erase personal memories while leaving basic motor functions and learned skills intact. Sensory organs undergo extensive modification. Ocular implants range from simple pict capturers to multi-spectrum analyzers capable of perceiving radiation far beyond the human visual range. Audio receptors are enhanced with vox grills and subsonic detectors, allowing servitors to communicate across a wide range of frequencies. A limb augmentation varies widely depending on the servitor's intended function. Industrial models sport hydraulic arms capable of lifting tons, while data collation units might possess dozens of spindly appendages for interfacing with cogitator banks. Combat servitors feature weapon symbiosis, with las cannons and bolt weapons seamlessly integrated into their frame. Dermal layers are typically replaced with synth skin or ceramite plating, offering increased durability and resistance to environmental hazards. Some patterns incorporate self-repair protocols, with subdermal reservoirs of bioreactive fluids capable of sealing minor wounds. Locomotive systems range from simple bionic legs to quadrupedal configurations and even grav-assisted hovering units. Specialized servitors designed for void operations may forego traditional mobility entirely in favor of magnetic clamping mechanisms. The Mechanicus has developed numerous variants tailored for specific roles. Lex mechanics possess enhanced cognitive functions, their minds optimized for data processing and information retrieval. These living archives serve as repositories of knowledge in libraries and administrative centers. Gun servitors, favored by the Adeptus Astartes, are walking weapons platforms. Their targeting systems interface directly with their organic brains, utilizing intuitive processing power that purely mechanical auspexes cannot match. Decay servitors blend surgical precision with tireless endurance. Their appendages house a vast array of medical instruments, from monomolecular scalpels to bone welders and organ vat dispensers. Astropathic relay servitors form crucial links in the Imperium's communication network. Their augmented brains serve as conduits for psychic messages, filtering and amplifying telepathic signals across vast distances. Tech thralls, ubiquitous on Forge worlds, possess a staggering array of mechadendrites and tool attachments. These versatile units can adapt to a wide range of manufacturing and maintenance tasks. Combat tactics involving servitors have evolved significantly since their inception. Imperial Guard regiments utilize servitor-crewed heavy weapons teams to provide sustained fire support. These cyborg gunners, immune to fatigue and fear, maintain a constant barrage even in the face of overwhelming enemy forces. Space Marine chapters employ servitors in various battlefield roles. Thunderfire cannons, crewed by a tech marine and a hardwired servitor, lay down punishing barrages of shells. Tarantula sentry guns, guided by simple servitor brains, form automated defense perimeters around strategic positions. Naval engagements rely heavily on servitor augmentation. Gun crews melded directly into a ship's weapon systems react with inhuman speed to threat assessments. Voidsman servitors, specially designed for extravehicular activity, perform critical maintenance tasks on a vessel's hull, even in the midst of battle. The Adeptus Mechanicus fields some of the most advanced servitor constructs. Cataphron battle servitors, massive cyborg warriors, serve as heavy assault units. Their treaded lower bodies house powerful engines, while their upper torsos bristle with an array of devastating weapons. Tactics for countering servitor forces have also developed. Experienced commanders recognize the importance of targeting control nodes and cogitator uplinks, disrupting the flow of orders to these cyborg troops. Electromagnetic pulse weapons have proven effective in temporarily disabling servitor units, though hardened military models often incorporate shielding against such attacks. Chaos forces have perverted servitor technology to create their own abominable fusions of flesh, machine, and demonic essence. These corrupted cyborgs require specialized tactics to combat, as they often possess unnatural resilience and unpredictable capabilities. The Officio Assassinorum is rumored to maintain a cadre of hyper-advanced servitors for covert operations. These units, indistinguishable from unaugmented humans, allegedly serve as deep cover agents capable of infiltrating even the most secure facilities. As servitor technology continues to advance, ethical concerns persist. The Imperium grapples with the question of how far is too far in the merger of human and machine. Some tech priests push for ever greater integration, while others advocate for maintaining clear distinctions between organic and artificial. The future of servitor development remains uncertain. As humanity faces mounting threats from all quarters, the pressure to create more powerful and efficient cyborg thralls grows. Yet, with each advancement, the specter of the Gelox incident looms large, a constant reminder of the dangers inherent in pushing the boundaries of man and machine. Magos biologist Exia Thren stands as a controversial figure in the annals of servitor development. Her groundbreaking work on neural interface optimization pushed the boundaries of what was thought possible, allowing for unprecedented levels of cognitive retention in servitor subjects. Thren's techniques, while officially sanctioned, have drawn scrutiny from more conservative elements within the Mechanicus hierarchy. Inquisitor Vax Holthane of the Ordo Hereticus, gained notoriety for his relentless pursuit of illegal servitor modification rings. His most famous case involved the uncovering of a vast conspiracy on the hive world of Necromunda, where rogue tech priests were creating servitors with forbidden levels of autonomy for use in gladiatorial combat. Archmagos Cynthia Cybernus earned both accolades and condemnation for her work on emotional suppression circuits. Her designs, implemented in a new generation of administrative servitors, dramatically increased efficiency, but raised troubling questions about the nature of human consciousness and the ethics of cognitive manipulation. Tech priest Dominus Xerxes Holtz gained fame during the defense of Graia, where his innovative use of repurposed industrial servitors turned the tide against orc invaders. Holtz's ability to rapidly reconfigure civilian units for combat roles earned him the rare honor of a commendation from the Fabricator General of Mars, Sister Hospitaller. Mira Sanctus of the Order of the Cleansing Water became a fierce advocate for ethical servitor creation after witnessing the horrors of mass conversion during the Plague Wars. Her impassioned pleas to the ecclesiarchy led to reforms in the use of penitent servitors within the Adeptus Sororitas. Lord Inquisitor Heimdall Voke of the Ordo Machinum is a polarizing figure known for his hardline stance on servitor regulation. His controversial Voke protocols mandate strict limits on servitor cognitive capacity, a measure he claims is necessary to prevent another Gelox-like incident. Rogue tech priest Omnios the Unbound gained infamy for his creation of the Omnicron servitors, cyborg monstrosities that blended Xenos biology with Imperial technology. His heretical experiments led to a sector-wide manhunt before he vanished into the depths of the Ghoul Stars. Captain Tiberius Vexus of the Ultramarines 4th Company earned the epithet Servitor's Bane for his tactical genius in countering servitor heavy forces during the Damocles Gulf Crusade. His treatise on anti-servitor warfare became required reading in many Astartes chapters. Explorator Magos Felicia Thorne gained renown for her archaeological work on pre-imperial cybernetic civilizations. Her recovery and analysis of ancient servitor-like constructs from the Dark Age of technology have provided invaluable insights into humanity's cybernetic past. Arch-heretic Silas Mort, once a respected Magos biologist, fell to the temptations of chaos and began creating demonically possessed servitors. His creations wreaked havoc across 3 subsectors before a joint Inquisition Grey Knights task force finally cornered and eliminated him. Tech adept Zephyria. Volta rose to prominence for her pioneering work on servitor neural networks. Her designs allow for limited information sharing between linked servitor units, dramatically increasing their effectiveness in complex, coordinated tasks. Lord General Militant Castor Thule of the Astra Militarum became famous for his innovative integration of servitor units into standard Imperial Guard tactics. His Omnissiah's Fist doctrine, which uses masses of combat servitors as a spearhead for human troops, has been adopted by numerous regiments. Magos Domina Eris Vax earned both praise and suspicion for her work on servitor longevity. Her techniques for preserving organic components have doubled the operational lifespan of many servitor patterns, but some whisper that her methods skirt dangerously close to forbidden life extension technologies. Reclusiarch Thaddeus Grome of the Black Templars. Chapter gained notoriety for his fiery sermons against what he saw as the soulless abomination of servitor technology. His hardline stance put him at odds with his chapter's tech marines and nearly sparked a schism before his death in battle. Fabricator Locum Zera Thessia of the Forge World Metallica spearheaded a controversial program to create awakened servitors with higher levels of self-awareness. Though the project was ultimately shut down by order of the Fabricator General, rumors persist that some of Thessia's creations escaped destruction. Inquisitor Malachi Vor of the Ordo Xenos gained infamy for his use of Xenos hybrid servitors in covert operations. While effective, his methods drew harsh criticism from puritanical elements within the Inquisition, leading to a series of ideological conflicts that rippled through the organization. Archmagos Biologi's Cynthia Pax became a leading voice in the movement for servitor rights. Her controversial thesis on the quantum nature of servitor consciousness sparked heated debates in Mechanicus circles and led to a re-examination of long-held beliefs about the nature of machine spirits. Tech priest Dominus Alexos Kane earned both glory and censure for his creation of the Kane pattern combat servitors. While undeniably effective on the battlefield, concerns about their aggressive base programming and tendency to interpret orders creatively led to their limited production. Sister Dialogus Esmeralda Thorne of the Order of the Sacred Scroll devoted her life to chronicling the history of servitor technology. Her magnum opus, Flesh and Steel, a compendium of cybernetic thraldom, is considered the definitive work on the subject in Imperial academia. Explorator Magos Prime Titus Vex led the infamous Galathamor expedition, a century-long quest to uncover the secrets of the legendary Golden Servitors said to have served the Emperor during the Great Crusade. The expedition's mysterious disappearance in the galactic core remains one of the Mechanicus' great unsolved mysteries. Whispers of the Silica Animus haunt the darkest corners of the Mechanicus archives. Ancient data looms speak of servitors that achieve true artificial intelligence, their machine spirits awakening to full sentience. These mythical constructs, said to have existed during the dark age of technology, remain a subject of fascination and terror among tech priests. Some believe the quest to recreate the Silica Animus drives the most radical elements of the Mechanicus, despite the dangers such research poses. The fate of the omniphage servitors following the Gelox incident remains shrouded in mystery. While official records claim total eradication, persistent rumors suggest a handful escaped into the void. Unconfirmed sightings of hyper-advanced servitors in the fringes of Imperial space fuel speculation that these rogue units continue to evolve, perhaps even establishing hidden enclaves beyond the Emperor's light. Certain inquisitorial cells investigate the possibility of latent psychic potential in servitor neural networks. Classified reports hint at instances where groups of linked servitors exhibited unexplained phenomena, from prescient behavior to localized warp disturbances. The implications of such findings, if proven true, could revolutionize or shatter the Imperium's understanding of machine spirits. The existence of the so-called Lazarus Protocols remains a contentious topic among the highest echelons of the Adeptus Mechanicus. These purported fail-safes, supposedly built into every servitor's core programming, are said to allow for the full restoration of the original human consciousness. Debate rages as to whether such protocols truly exist, and if so, under what circumstances they might be activated. Explorator fleets venturing into the galactic fringes occasionally return with tales of xeno-civilizations employing servitor-like constructs of their own. Of particular interest are reports from the Eastern Fringe describing Tau auxiliary forces supported by cybernetic warriors bearing an uncanny resemblance to Imperial servitors. The possibility of technological exchange, willing or otherwise, with Xenos races remains a deeply troubling prospect for Imperial authorities. In the wake of the Cicatrix Maledictum's formation, a disturbing new phenomenon has emerged. Reports trickle in from worlds near the Great Rift of Servitors exhibiting inexplicable behaviors, speaking in tongues, displaying sudden bursts of emotion, or acting with apparent free will. Some tech priests theorize that the weakened barriers between real space and the warp may be affecting the machine spirits of these cyborg thralls in unpredictable ways. The concept of ghost imprints in servitor neural networks continues to intrigue and unsettle Mechanicus researchers. Anecdotal evidence suggests that fragments of the original human's memories or personality occasionally surface, manifesting in subtle behavioral quirks or flashes of recognition. Whether these imprints represent a flaw in the mind-wiping process or a fundamental aspect of the human soul's resilience remains hotly debated. Rumors persist of a breakaway faction within the Adeptus Mechanicus dedicated to the creation of true artificial intelligence through servitor experimentation. This hypothetical group, known in whispered conversations as the Silicate Conclave, allegedly operates from a hidden forge world beyond the boundaries of Imperial space. Their existence, if proven, would represent one of the gravest tech heresies imaginable. The sudden disappearance of Magos Explorator Zephyr 9 and her entire expedition fleet in the Ghoul Stars has fueled wild speculation. The last transmissions from her ship spoke of discovering an STC fragment detailing self-replicating servitor swarms. The Mechanicus has officially declared the expedition lost, but some believe Zephyr 9 may have unlocked secrets too dangerous to be allowed back into the Imperium. Certain radical inquisitors postulate the existence of deep cover servitors, cyborg agents indistinguishable from normal humans, implanted with false memories and programmed to activate upon receiving specific stimuli. The idea that any Imperial citizen might unknowingly be such a sleeper agent has paranoid elements within the Inquisition seeing conspiracies at every turn. The true nature of the bond between Space Marine Tech Marines and their servitor assistants remains poorly understood outside the Adeptus Astartes. Some scholars posit that the psycho-indoctrination process Space Marines undergo allows for a deeper connection with machine spirits, enabling levels of servitor control impossible for normal humans. Others whisper of secret rituals that bind the souls of fallen battle brothers to their chapter's servitors. In the depths of Titan, homeworld of the Grey Knights, lies a vault said to contain servitors of unimaginable power and horrific aspect. Created from the corpses of demon-possessed psychers, these mythical constructs allegedly serve as living weapons in the Chamber Militant's most desperate hours. Their existence remains officially denied, but the legend persists among those few aware of the Grey Knight's existence. Fragmented records from the Horus heresy speak of the Emperor's personal cadre of golden servitors, beings of such technological sophistication that they blurred the line between cybernetic thrall and demigod. The fate of these constructs following the Emperor's internment in the Golden Throne remains unknown, sparking endless speculation among those privy to such lore. On certain backwater worlds, local folklore tells of servitor saints, cyborg beings that appear in times of great need, performing miraculous feats before vanishing once more. Imperial authorities dismiss such tales as superstitious nonsense, but some within the Inquisition wonder if these legends might have a kernel of truth, perhaps linked to long-forgotten servitor patterns with unusual abilities. The concept of recursive servitors, cybernetic constructs capable of designing and creating more advanced versions of themselves, represents a holy grail for some tech priests and a nightmare scenario for others. Theoretical models suggest such a process could lead to rapid exponential improvements in servitor technology, but the risks of losing control over such a system give even the most radical magi pause. Deep in the bowels of Mars, ancient data vaults are said to contain templates for servitor patterns so advanced or horrific that they have been sealed away by order of the Fabricator General himself. The contents of these vaults are the subject of endless speculation, with theories ranging from servitors capable of warp travel to monstrous fusion engines powered by tormented human souls. As the Imperium of Man stands at the twilight of the 41st millennium, the legacy of servitor technology looms large over humanity's uncertain future. These cybernetic thralls, once a desperate solution to the threat of rebellious machines, have become an inextricable part of Imperial society, their presence a constant reminder of the blurred lines between man and machine. The widespread use of servitors has fundamentally altered the course of human evolution. With each passing generation, the distinction between augmented human and cybernetic slave grows ever fainter. In the teeming hive cities and stark forge worlds of the Imperium, citizens view extensive cybernetic modification not as a mark of otherness, but as a simple fact of life. This shift in perception has profound implications for the human psyche. The knowledge that one might be converted into a servitor, whether as punishment for crimes or simply due to the whims of fate, instills a deep-seated anxiety in the Imperial populace. This fear, in turn, serves as a powerful tool for control, ensuring compliance through the threat of lobotomization and eternal servitude. Yet, paradoxically, the ubiquity of servitors has also fostered a creeping desensitization to the horror of their existence. Many Imperial citizens now view these cyborg slaves as little more than particularly sophisticated tools, their former humanity forgotten or willfully ignored. This moral blindness allows for the continued expansion of servitor use without significant ethical opposition. The Adeptus Mechanicus, as the primary architects of servitor technology, find themselves at a crossroads. The drive to create ever more efficient and specialized servitors pushes against the boundaries of Imperial doctrine and the ever-present fear of artificial intelligence. Some within the Mechanicus advocate for a return to more restrictive servitor designs, while others argue that only by pushing forward can humanity hope to survive the manifold threats it faces. This ideological schism within the Mechanicus has far-reaching consequences for the Imperium as a whole. Forge worlds aligned with different schools of thought produce markedly different servitor patterns, leading to technological divergence on a galactic scale. This lack of standardization, while potentially fostering innovation, also creates vulnerabilities that the Imperium's enemies are all too eager to exploit. The emergence of new threats to the Imperium has spurred further advancements in servitor technology. The Tyranid hive fleets, with their ability to adapt rapidly to new challenges, have necessitated the development of servitors capable of matching this biological flexibility. Experimental cyber-organic hybrids, blending the best aspects of Servitor and Adeptus Mechanicus technology, represent a potential leap forward in humanity's defensive capabilities. Similarly, the risen threat of Necron dynasties has forced a re-evaluation of servitor resilience and computational power. The quest to create servitors capable of matching Necron, constructs in durability and processing speed, drives some of the Mechanicus's most radical research, teetering on the edge of tech heresy. The Adeptus Astartes, long at the forefront of Imperial military might, have begun to more fully integrate advanced servitor units into their combat doctrines. Some chapters now field entire auxiliary forces of combat servitors, blurring the line between honored battle brother and disposable cyborg thrall. This shift in tactics has proven effective, but raises uncomfortable questions about the future of transhuman warfare. In the realm of governance, the Adeptus Terra's reliance on servitor logisticians and data collators has reached unprecedented levels. Vast networks of interconnected servitor minds now process the unfathomable volumes of information required to administer the Imperium, raising concerns about the potential for large-scale errors or vulnerabilities in the system. The Inquisition, ever vigilant for threats to the Imperium, has intensified its scrutiny of servitor production and deployment. The specter of the Gelox incident looms large in the minds of those tasked with rooting out tech heresy. Some Inquisitors advocate for stricter controls on servitor cognitive capabilities, while others argue that only by pushing the boundaries of the technology can the Imperium hope to maintain its dominance. As humanity faces an increasingly hostile galaxy, the ethical considerations surrounding servitor use have largely fallen by the wayside. The line between punitive servitor conversion and pragmatic use of resources continues to blur, with more and more Imperial citizens seeing servitor creation as a necessary evil rather than a moral quandary. The long-term psychological effects of this shift in perspective are only beginning to be understood. Some scholars within the Imperium warn of a future where human life is valued solely for its potential utility as servitor material, a dystopian vision that some argue has already come to pass on certain worlds. Yet for all the moral ambiguity surrounding their use, servitors remain one of humanity's most potent tools in its fight for survival. As the threats arrayed against the Imperium grow ever more dire, the continued development and deployment of these cyborg thralls may well prove to be the factor that determines mankind's ultimate fate. In the grim darkness of the far future, the line between man and machine grows ever fainter. The age of pure humanity is long past, and the era of the cyborg ascendant looms on the horizon. Whether this transformation will prove to be humanity's salvation or its final downfall remains to be seen. The Servitors, silent and ever vigilant, stand as mute witnesses to this pivotal moment in human evolution, their vacant eyes reflecting the uncertain future that awaits us all.